Das ist Berlin, wie es weint und wie es lacht.
It began 1952, I heard, the Pakistanish relation. Please tell me about it.
No, Pakistan and Germany enjoy excellent relations. Our bilateral ties, they have been there literally since Pakistan came into being. In 1947, we came into being after the partition of what was British India. And ever since, in fact, even before that, some German companies have been in Pakistan, like Siemens has been there even before 1947. But our relations, they have gone from strength to strength, as we can say, in multiple dimensions. There's a political dimension to it. We have, we have shared perceptions on very many international issues. Both the countries, these are both great nations in their own ways, and they are both very keen to contribute to regional peace, to world peace, to regional stability, to contribute to peace and development of the world, in their own countries, of course. And in that regard, we've had multiple linkages. In fact, Germany is one of our largest trading partners in the world. Besides that, it's also a big development cooperation partner. It has been a big investment partner as well. Now that is the economic dimension.
What source is it they're trading with?
Multiple things, but some of the big items are textiles. Pakistan is one of the one of the global players in textiles. We are very famous for our textiles and fashion. So that is there. Leather products is there. Sports goods is there. By the way, the footballs produced for World Cup are actually made in Pakistan.
No way. Wow, that
so
is
we're very good in sports goods. In terms of political relations, we have had a great deal of cooperation. There are always very many high-level bilateral exchanges. I talk about the last year alone, the Speaker of the National Assembly of Pakistan was here, he's like the President of Bundestag.
Okay.
Then we had the Defense Minister twice. We had the Finance Minister. We had the Foreign Secretary of Pakistan here. We had parliamentary delegations. We had the Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan visiting here. From the German side, your Foreign Secretary was there. Your Minister for Economic Cooperation was there. In 2014, the Prime Minister of Pakistan visited here. So there's a great deal of interaction between the two countries. We have 5,000 students from Pakistan studying in Germany. That's a good linkage, that's it. So Germany is one of the biggest, one of the countries with biggest populations of Pakistani students abroad. But the fact is that we enjoy a very good bilateral relationship.
That's why I see you choose Berlin.
Yeah, that was an important part of it, because you see, Berlin is in terms of our diplomacy, it is one of the biggest embassies that we have in the world. It's one of our top 10 embassies in the world.
I feel really welcome here.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
really nice.
we have tried to have a kind of a cozy feel to it. It's not really not too ostentatious, but rather a homely feel.
Do you do sports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been always very fond of sports.
The big thing is cricket in your country.
Cricket
right?
is very big in
Yes.
Pakistan. We have been world champions as well, and Germany is the world champion in football.
Yeah.
And by the way, there is cricket in Berlin.
Really?
We have cricket. The cricket is played here in this Olympic stadium as well.
Okay.
We have some teams, people in my embassy. They play cricket.
Nice.
Proper cricket. But lately, I have taken up golf,
Okay.
and that's the sport I love. I'm a member of Wannsee Club. It's a great club, the oldest in Germany. And in fact, last year I was very lucky that I won the Ambassador's Cup.
No way. You did? From all the agents, from the embassies?
Yeah, from the
play golf?
There was a tournament for the ambassadors.
You can be really proud of that too.
Organized by the ambassadors. I'm very much into sports.
That's nice. So we're going to have lunch soon.
And a traditional Pakistani lunch
Yes.
at that.
And you have very much items of your country which you can show me, or your wife.
Yeah, definitely. You see, literally everything that you see in this room, all this furniture, the lamps and everything, the decorations, a lot of them as well, most of this has come from Pakistan. It's very traditional Pakistani furniture. if you start with this one, for instance, very traditional. It depicts the, like the role of women in our society as well, because in Pakistan, the dress is very feminine, as you can see, I mean, now it's not necessary that every girl would cover her head with a scarf, but even when they do it in a very fashionable manner, like, it's very flowing dresses, as you see.
And in your flag, is the green is the national color? I mean, that's the color, right?
It's green and white, and with of course, with a star and a crescent. So basically, the green represents, of course, the Muslims. White represents the minorities, and of course, the star, like the crescent, that is a message of peace.
Peace, very nice.
And then there we have, calligraphy. Calligraphy is a great tradition in Pakistan. Like you would see that in a lot of paintings, and sometimes you see that done in mosques and also in other buildings. You see, I think it's very important to see this tradition, the carpets. The carpets, Pakistan is very well known for, making carpets. And these carpets, like one carpet like this can take months to sort of, to be manufactured, because it's all woven by hand. No machines are used. It's all hand woven,
Wow.
So and what you depict says there are different traditions, of course, like you have Tabriz and you have Shikarga and, and Isfahan. So all these traditions, they actually mostly come from Central Asia. That's where it started. But in the olden times, Central Asia and our region, they were linked in that trading route, which is called the Silk Route. China, Pakistan, Central Asia, it was all like sort of, all interlinked.
So you joined us back, thank you. The birthday child. Wow.
Thank you.
And we're going to eat now, really traditional.
Yeah, it's very traditional Pakistani food. That's what we eat actually, on a daily basis. And it's a very rich tradition. It's a little similar to what is known as the Indian tradition, the Indian cuisine. In fact, the interesting part is that in Berlin, you have many restaurants that I see with written, portraying themselves as Indian restaurant, Indian cuisine. But many of them are actually Pakistani restaurants. They're owned by Pakistanis, the cooks are Pakistanis. Because the thing is, because this is this generic term now, Indian food. But in that, the real tradition is this, what we call the Pakistani food. And why do I say that? Because in India, it's the Muslims who eat the meat. I mean, as we know, the Hindus are vegetarians. They don't really eat meat. Especially they can't eat beef, for instance. In fact, they kill people who eat beef. As we know, sometimes the lynchings are going on. But meat is a major part of what is called the Indian food, and you'll see that in our tradition. Meat is there. Although we have to use a lot of vegetables as well. And there are literally hundreds and hundreds of different recipes. And we use a lot of ingredients. There are lots of spices, lots of different spices and ingredients that we use. So, bon appetit.
Yeah, bon appetit. We start with the salad and...
Yeah. We'll start with the salad, and there's a samosa here, and what we call a samosa. Samosa is very famous in the world, samosa, and then this is what we call a pakora. So these are basically like, these are basically some sort of
Our snacks. We can call
these are basically snacks.
Yeah.
delicious.
Our starters. Yeah.
Do you pray before dinner? Is that in your tradition? That you say a blessing or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
In our tradition, we say
Bismillah.
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 That's very traditional. I don't know that one.
It is, yeah. It's very traditional, and we put only fresh fruits inside, and with no sugar.
It's watermelon? Or
Watermelon and kiwi, grapes, and orange. Yeah, it's a mixture of multiple fruits.
So it's a fruit cocktail.
The best food cocktail.
Yeah, it's very refreshing. Yeah. The good part is there is no sugar inside.
Then we have to remember that the Hindus don't use meat you know. So that is the, even if you eat that in India or Indian restaurants, there is a Muslim food tradition of India, you know. But the Pakistani food tradition is, you know, which is of course, you know, it's in the past it was the Muslim food tradition of India, but it has evolved further, you know. It's kind of, you know, like synthesized more, and now literally sort of in every part of the world, I think it's very popular. In the UK, for instance, now they say that the most popular dish in England is not fish and chips or any of the sort of, you know, like, thank you, any of the typical kind of, you know, like beef and sort of potato dishes. The most popular dishes now is chicken tikka masala.
That's what we're having here?
We'll be having that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. This is chicken biryani.
Okay.
Now biryani is very popular because biryani is what? It's basically rice and chicken, you know, but of course cooked with all the spices, you know. And this curry that you're having now is halim. This curry is very interesting because halim is what? It takes, you know, this is a dish kind of, you know, which can only be created by slow cooking, as you know, like that very slow cooking. And it's a mix of lentils and meat and some spices and herbs. You know, please, bon appetit.
Dankeschön.
What? This is our bread. Paratha.
Take it. It's very crispy. Yeah.
Das ist Berlin, wie es weint und wie es lacht.